back again with the Tucson. Hope you guys are doing very good today. I'm going to remove my air cleaner and talk about the transmission. Because in order to do a lot of the service on the transmission, you have to remove the air cleaner. To remove the transaxle, to change the fluids, you have to get the air cleaner out of the way. So that's a good place to start, is by removing the air cleaner, and in subsequent videos we're going to be doing a lot more, but we're going to start with the air cleaner. And to do that, it's 5 steps according to this here that I got up. Disconnect the battery, remove the engine cover, remove the air duct, remove the air cleaner assembly, which is 5 sub-steps there you could see. So it starts with these 2 little clips here. You just pry it up and pull them out. I use the 1332 for the 2 bolts that fasten the actual air box down. There's one here and there's one around the back. Couple connectors. This one here is a 2-stage, so you gotta sort of push this out and then push the clip down to release the harness. So there, I pushed it out, and then you squeeze it in and pull it out. Back the screw off here a little bit, and it's all really simple. You got the PCV hose and just the 2 connectors. The one is a double stage, so watch that. And once you get the airbox assembly out, you can have access to the front portion of the transaxle. And so you really have to remove the battery and the battery tray to have full access to the transaxle. But if you just get the air cleaner out, then you can access the position sensor, the electronic shift actuator, the ATF warmer, because there's a pre-warmer. It warms up your ATF fluid on cold days, and the cooler lines, of course, for the hot days. So there's a lot of other stuff too that we'll discuss in the future, and this is a pre-video to the actual videos that I'll be making in the future, so I hope you guys can stay tuned and join me for that. Like and subscribe if you got a Tucson, and I'm gonna have a bunch of videos on the transaxle and some other stuff related to the transmission. So the importance of the fluid is pretty much essential to the operation of the transmission, just because it applies the clutches and makes the gears change when it's pressurized and directed to certain areas. And pretty much it goes from the pump, the torque converter, to the valve bodies, and the spool valves are really tight, so that's where a lot of the problems happen with old fluid getting all clogged up in there. So here's the recommendations for Hyundai cars, and the gear ratio for the 8-speed transmission. So 12 steps to service the fluid, and it all starts with removing the air cleaner assembly. We started there earlier. Remove the eye bolt, add ATF through the injection hole, and I'm going to show you where all this stuff is in future videos coming soon. So the injection hole is actually the eye bolt. It's the same thing, but it's an eye bolt, and then when you remove it, it becomes an injection hole. So step number 4, you start the engine, then you use your diag tool, then make sure the temp of the fluid is between 50 and 60 for step 5. Number 6, you switch from P to D, pause a couple seconds between each gear, raise and support the vehicle. separate the ATF warmer, remove level check plug from valve body cover. If the ATF flows out of the overflow plug in a thin steady stream, the level is correct. If not, then you're screwed and you gotta do it all again. So if it works out and step 11 is good, then you can install the undercover, lower the vehicle, and you have to replace the gasket on the eye bolt when you're all done. And for step 7 and 8, I know they look the same, but actually what it is that step 7 is to assemble the jack stands, and step 8 is to actually put the jack stands in place. So that's just how they wanted it, and I'm just reading what they wrote, sort of, unless I copied it down wrong, which I might have as well. But the automatic transaxle adaptive valves gotta be reset, not for the fluid exchange, but for other service that you may do, like let's say you replace a solenoid or something, and then you're gonna have to reset the valves. Some basic troubleshooting: shift delay, damaged clutch or brake, faulty hydraulic control or supply, relearn the TCM, vibration of vehicle when shifting, damaged clutch or brake again, relearn the TCM, faulty hydraulic control or supply. You're going to see that a lot here. Fixed gear, shift is impossible, so it's a faulty hydraulic control. And limited gear, shift is possible. Poor acceleration, faulty hydraulic control and or supply again. So the hydraulic control and supply of ATF is essential because it's an hydraulic fluid, and if it's not getting to places where it needs to be, then your gears are not going to change, because gears require the ATF to change. And if your ATF is no good, then you're going to have poor engagement and slippage. So you got to keep on top of your fluid. But if you don't, and you have to remove your transaxle, then there's about 30 steps, starting with disconnecting the battery, removing the air cleaner assembly, remove the ECM, battery and battery tray, wiring bracket, disconnect your electronic shift actuator and the position sensor. Note 6 and 7, the actuator and the sensor are on top of the tranny. Disconnect main connector, loosen the bolt, remove the G line, and loosen wiring bracket, mounting bolt, disconnect ATF cooler holes, loosen transaxle upper mounting bolts, starter motor upper bolts, assemble vehicle support, secure the vehicle, remove the front wheel guard, lower mounting bolt, transaxle bracket, and then you gotta get to the undercover, remove the front subframe, that's the entire subframe in the front, remove the drive shaft assembly. If all-wheel drive, you gotta remove some of the transfer case parts and the transfer assembly, loosen lower starter motor bolts, the roll rod support bracket, the dust cover, torque converter mounting bolts have to be loosened. And the only way to do that is to rotate the crankshaft, support the transaxle, remove the lower transaxle mounting bolts, and then you can remove it, take it out and out. Alright guys, I got tired just reading those steps. So it's a lot of work to remove the transaxle in the Tucson. I was hoping it'd be easier. And even to check or exchange your fluid is a little bit harder than I suspected. But like I said, this is the pre-video to the actual transmission videos, and they're going to be coming soon, so hope you guys can join me and have a great long weekend, Canada Day and Independence Day. So July 4th is just around the corner. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of your Tucson, and I'll see you in the next video.